So, I take it the video is going to start playing.
Yes,
we
are going to play the video.
How can something as beautiful as this be dying? A plague is ruining the land, but the tree of life still stands. Question is, for how long? End is coming to the new world. The tribes stand divided, in need of someone strong enough to unite them or bring them all down. This is a story with an unusual beginning. So, let's expect an unusual end.
That, as an opening, is so cool.
It's strong, isn't it? It is strong.
Again, this is pre-alpha. This is really early gameplay. The fact that they basically gave us the build is incredible.
Yes.
But for that reason, it is not.
Choose your gender.
It's not anywhere near finished.
No, exactly. It's not representative, but we're going to get a good look at what Biomutant's all about. So let's start with what we're doing on screen right now.
I love this bit. So it's character customization,
yes.
Which, you know, every good game has. This one's particularly clever. So this is us sort of designing how we look.
Yeah, and it doesn't work exactly as you'd expect. I mean, there's that, you've got that kind of like circular graph that you can see on the left, but it's also like sectioned off, and not everything moves exactly as you want. It's quite easy to, it's kind of quite random. And I think rather than necessarily building exactly what you want, you more sort of like fiddle about until you find something you like, which for me personally, I prefer, because I find character creation incredibly stressful.
Choose your first
It's the best part. Like, it's
I'm
the
stressed
best
out.
part.
I'm stressed out by it because I want to make this amazing character, and I'm not like a game developer. You know, I'm not an artist. I don't think I know what I'm doing.
you are an artist.
Oh, bless you.
Promise.
Bless you. I'll give you that $5 later.
I mean, you've clearly created something beautiful. So yeah, we were able to choose our fur length, like a pattern for the fur.
Yeah, I mean,
PlayStation Blue.
We decided to go PlayStation Blue. It just seemed to make sense. Not with orange spots. You get to change the color of the spots momentarily. But yeah, you can see that you've got the fur length, you've got to change the color. And well, with the whole body shape and everything. And you can see they've given you the numbers in case you need to recreate it. I don't know, or you want to tell your friend, like, what color are you? I'm 138.4.
Well, that's so, because there is obviously PlayStation's Blue is a very specific.
Yeah, I'll say right now, I'm not certain that is PlayStation's Blue. So I don't want to get in any trouble. So we made a couple of characters. We had 2 run-throughs. You can see, you're going to see a bit of both of them. So what is the backstory to Biomutant?
Okay, so we're in a post-apocalyptic world,
right.
And it's not like a bomb went off. It's like oil has seeped through, and everything is dying.
So that explains the floor right here, because it's quite dark. Like, we're in like a forest or something,
Yeah.
where you can see it's quite oily.
Yes.
And we've obviously straight away, the first thing I had to do was make a choice, and there's some sort of karma system.
Yes. So interestingly, obviously Dave has got hands-on with the game, but I'm sort of the one that saw the presentation, which is why the 2 of us are doing this. So it has a karma system, and it's a very easy to understand karma system. I'd call it the red and blue system.
It's literally like a black and white, sort of yin and yang kind of a thing.
Minus 10 or plus 10. And this does affect the story, because your karma will affect how people see you, the options you have when you are talking to people.
Okay.
And of course, because the ending is very open. So, for example, there are 6 tribes, and
Okay.
you can choose to unite them or destroy them. You can choose to become some scary big boss. And again, all your karma has an effect on all of this.
So what is this game? Like, if we break it right down, it's kind of an open world
Adventure
with kind of like, it's quite in-depth combat.
Rob said Devil May Cry combat.
Devil May Cry combat, that's what I was looking for. It's like, is about combinations, is about, you know, it's not just like your attack is square. As I think you will have seen in that sort of tutorial section, there are loads of different button combinations. All the moves have names, so I think you can chain them together. You know, you can knock people up into the air so that you can do more damage to them. Like, the combat is actually very, very deep.
Yeah.
The part of the game that we played is quite linear, because it's the very opening, certainly of this build anyway. So
this is a special piece of code that has been made for presentations.
Right,
this
for
is
presentations.
So this part of the game is what me and Rob saw at Gamescom.
Right.
In fact, anyone who saw this at Gamescom as a member of the press, this is the section they saw and said, this is just us playing it and doing it our way.
But if you have seen the trailer, or you might even see some at the end of this video, it's actually a huge open world. So you might not get it from this video that we've played, that we've put together, but the game is actually opens up into a huge open world.
4 by 4 kilometers above ground, doesn't include the underground.
Did you say 4 by 4 kilometers?
4 by 4 kilometers. I watched my old video back.
Wow.
I
okay.
also have it written down.
And there's loads of terrain, there's loads of environments, like
Yes.
there's a desert, there's like sort of tundra, there's lush
Yeah.
forest and stuff. So it's a really interesting game. In fact, I think you maybe described it as Jak and Daxter meets Horizon
Yes.
Zero Dawn.
Yeah,
which is a combination that I didn't know I wanted until I heard about it.
Exactly.
Until I was told that. I was like, yeah, that sounds amazing.
So our main character doesn't talk.
No.
Those watching now, you'll hear a narrator, and it's the narrator that sort of gives you the story. So if you pick something up, it'll be like, and then he picked up the sword. But as with your things like your karma, that can also affect the kind of the way the narrator speaks. So it's quite dynamic to what you're doing and how you're doing it.
I really liked it, actually. You'll see in a bit, we get into a conversation, and the narrator kind of describes the character's feelings about what's going on as well. It's sort of like his inner thoughts almost. It's a really clever system. You will have just seen that we picked up some ammo.
Yeah.
And this is like what we're about to see, or not actually, are we about to see it? Not quite yet. So I've got some ammo that's like, there are different kind of powers, like lightning power, or, just talking about the ammo. There are different kinds of, what's the elements that I'm looking at? Elemental damage. So right now I've got sort of electric, but I know there's radiation as well. I'm sure there are others. What we're doing here is scavenging for loot, which is going to be really important because you can use all this stuff to make weapons and armor, which is a big part of the game,
It's a huge
actually.
part.
So Nath made this video. He wanted to zoom in on our new helmet there.
Was that what that was? That was just Nathan zooming in on the helmet?
That's what he wanted to do.
Fine,
Yeah,
whatever
that
makes
was
him
his thing. He was interested in that.
So the game itself there's a tree of life, and the tree of life is dying. And if the tree of life dies, so does humanity. So you need to cure its roots. Now, by playing the game and doing the quests, you will start to cure the roots of the tree of life. And every time you successfully cure one of the roots, the percentage chance of you saving humanity at the end of the game increases. So, for example, if you only have a 10% chance of saving humanity because you've only cured a tiny part of the roots, at the end of the game will literally RNG on whether or not you've saved humanity.
Oh, so you can still do it?
You can still do it.
Right.
The more of the tree of life that you cure, the better the
better your
percentage
chance.
that you'll actually save humanity.
But you can still lose.
But you can still lose.
Oh, man.
And the story's also open. So, for example, if you've played it and you've been a complete ass the whole time, and you have low karma, you'll get, a different ending than if you played it and had good karma.
That's pretty interesting. That's a really interesting idea, actually, because you're used to making all the right decisions and getting the good ending. The idea that you can do your best to heal the tree of life and still lose is kind of interesting. Or do your work, not really care about it, but still it comes good. It's kind of an interesting idea that I'm really interested in. We're seeing some more combat, and I think we might have seen the first of a couple of powers. So your character has several powers which you can use. I think we've seen the first one, which is kind of like it's that one there, which is like a confusion power, which can turn enemies against each other. They turn them to your side. I don't know that they're necessarily on your side, actually, but they definitely turn against their friends. And which is really good for just disrupting, because they do get quite together. There's quite large numbers of them, so you can turn those against them. That's the first power that we've learned. You can see I've got a dodge now, which I'm using incredibly badly. This guy in the middle, he's not actually too difficult to kill, but I decided to go for the ads first, which was maybe a mistake.
I always go for the ads first, because I just want to be able to concentrate on the boss.
I thought I could easily, outmaneuver his barrel throws, but actually he was surprisingly accurate with them, or I was surprisingly bad. I'm not sure. He's staggered here. Yeah, I know. I'll let you decide for yourselves. He's dead here, so that's good. And I like this nice. You get this nice slow-mo finisher, which is pretty cool.
So there's two types of powers. There's bio and there's psi.
I didn't know that.
So bio is physical and psi is a bit like X-Men powers.
We're going to see another one of them here. So I'm going to gain another one, which is an electric shock.
Yes.
So you get a little. Actually, no, I'm not. This is one of the psi powers, I guess. This is telekinesis. So you can pick things up and throw it into other stuff. Just do damage to it, which is useful. It's not just enemies. You can also use it on, you know, like barrels and inanimate objects and things like that.
This guys are like ragdolling in the air, like,
I
while
know.
you...
He didn't have a chance, did he?
Nope.
He was not expecting. There's that slow-mo again, which is super cool.
Again, for anyone who's tuning in, this is us. We played this, literally we made this video yesterday. It is Dave playing, which is why we're not playing it live. The game is very early in development. It's great that we got code, but because of that, we can't play it live. It is pre-alpha. This is a special build made for showing like at events. So
you can tell it's me playing because I'm not that good. You know,
I will say the guy who did demo it from the studio when I saw it at Gamescom did do really well.
He did better. Well, the developer did better, Holly. That's what you're telling. That's what you're telling me.
Well, yeah.
Well, okay, that's fair enough. So different kinds of enemies here. Like another big guy, but he had a shield. You have to break the shield before you can do any damage. I don't think he can succumb to any of your powers until you've taken down his shield, which makes sense. I think you can shoot these barrels. You can actually, you can see it sort of auto-locked on. I should explain that there's a ranged attack and a melee attack, so you've got a sword and guns, and you can lock on with the right stick, so you can choose which enemy you're attacking at, you know, which time. I am not good at it, and as I said, as Rob described it as Devil May Cry.
This is where you can see the Devil May Cry style combat. You know, it's getting them into the air, getting to the combos, mid-combos, switching out to guns, bringing in the two-handed.
Exactly, it's mixing it, as you say, between the ranged and the melee, and when you get really good with this game, I think you're going to see some amazing combos. You're going to see some really acrobatic kills, and people just doing crazy things. I mean, I'm still learning the powers there. I just picked that guy up for a laugh because, you know, just because I could.
Well, one of the other powers you just saw there when you saw the moths on the screen, that's one of your other side powers. You spew moths.
Yeah, that's the confusion sort of power that kind of like takes them over, or I'm not sure how you describe it. Now we're going to see something which is really, really interesting, which I was sort of talking about earlier. This is the workshop, where you take all those parts that you've collected so far in the game and you put them together to form a weapon of some kind. So I'm doing it randomly here. At the moment, that's all you can do, I think, is just randomize your weapon. You just press triangle. It puts all the parts you've got together in different ways. And you can see all the different stats that you've created.
That's great.
I mean, you can guess I'm going to choose this weapon. I'm pretty sure I choose something like that because it just looks so incredibly cool. But yeah, so you're rolling different stats all the time. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, I think that's a bit of a stop sign, maybe a bit of like a chainsaw or something.
Wrench.
Yes, I want that. So that's my two-handed sword that I've made. And that's just from all bits that I've found throughout the world, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
You can do the same with ranged weapons. And again, so it's just using all the bits you found, just hitting triangle, putting them together in different ways or different parts, and you can see the stats on the right, depending on what you're looking for, you know, whether you want to go for high damage, high fire rate, or
look
something
how
like
cool that looks.
And there it is. So now that weapon is on my back. We are going to learn the third power now.
Yep.
This has to be one of the bio powers, I guess. I don't know how to describe this. What's it called? It's called Fungi Mush Mutation, or Fungi Mush, maybe.
Yeah, this is on my Gamescom list.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it?
Yeah, so with the fungi, you can use it in sort of two different ways. So you can put it down like this and use it to help you traverse the world, find secret, gain access to new places. But then you can also use it in battle as well.
Yeah.
So you can actually use it against enemies.
It's so mad in battle. I got to be honest, I really enjoyed that this power can be used for problem solving. So I noticed that there was a chest over there. I used them to jump over the gap and get to the chest of loot. I think that's my favourite way to use this power. In combat, it's just absolutely mad because the mushrooms just grow up underneath people and just throw them into the air, and if you've got a couple down, they just bounce between them. They're completely helpless, which is pretty fun. This is the last power that I was talking about, the key spark power, which is just basically lightning.
Yeah, and it looks I love that I love the zap, and you can sort of have the X-ray when you're zapping them.
It's cool,
really
isn't
cool.
it? I don't know how to describe this art style. There's a number of things. I love that they have like this sort of, you know, comic book style, pow, zap stuff that comes up. So this is actually, this is the first sort of like friendly character we've seen. I think it's the only one we're going to meet in this video. The guy in the wheelchair there. Now, what is his name? He's got a great name. It's something like Out of Date. I think he's called Out of Date. And I'm trying to save him. So this must be one of the tribes you're talking about.
Yes.
You can see I've got to just defeat these tribe members to save him. He's having a bit of a hard time. He's having a bit of a battle of his own. I'm starting to get to grips with the the combat here. I'm going to be honest, it started a little bit button mashy, but there's the mushroom power. It knocks him into the air
for a combo. Stunning, lovely.
So
I can't wait to see this game as it progresses, because if this is how the combat is looking pre-alpha, it is going to be delicious.
And as I said, you know, forward. I've started off quite button mashy. When you understand the powers and how you can chain them all together, and you understand the enemies, and maybe you know that you need to mind control that one and stick that one up in the air and take him out of the action, people are just going to do amazing things. So that was basically, now I've made my new friend. I think we're learning basically here about healing the Tree of Life.
Yes, this is where he teaches you how to heal the Tree of Life.
I've got a different mask there. It's the weirdest mask. I don't know why I've made that choice. And so you can see there's conversation tree. This is the RPG element. There is conversation with the NPCs, you know, and then there's the karma system as well. As you said, it's not just be good and you win, be bad and you lose.
No, it's not like that. There's little things called nanos. They're what you're trying to find. They're the things that can eat away at the rot that is killing the Tree of Life.
Yes.
So you need to find the nanos. And there's different ways of doing it. There are 5 routes to heal, and then each one of those breaks down even further.
Right.
So there could potentially be 10 parts to 1-5.
Got you.
One of the 5.
So we've made it out of the underground. This is our first sort of look at the open world. It's got an amazing skyline. You can see the planet with the rings. It's just amazing.
Now, we were told that if you can see it out here, you can walk to it.
Right. So it's in that 4x4 kilometre square. And then, like you said, there's underground as well.
This is amazing.
I mean, mark your territory, it said. I don't know what I was expecting, but I guess he is an animal. So he marks his territory in the only way he knows how, with some sort of bioluminescent liquid, shall we say.
You're so polite, Dave.
I know. And I'm pretty sure this was basically the end of the area that I was able to see.
Yes.
Get a very tantalizing look, sadly, at the open world. A very tantalizing look at this terrifying beast.
Cerberus.
Which I didn't fight. And I think we're going to see maybe a little bit of the outro, which is bits of the trailer, possibly. And you can get an idea for the variation of the world. It looks absolutely incredible, and I can't wait to get out there and explore it. I mean, there's so many unanswered questions here. Like there's these vehicles. I think we might see like a hand vehicle, like a clockwork hand. I think there's going to be some like problem solving with. You see like a sundial in a minute. It's absolutely. I mean, what is that? Is the sundial, which I'm hoping is some sort of problem solving.
Dinker-totter.
I know.
But
there's
yeah,
an airship.
Look at that. I mean, we're really lucky. Like I said, we haven't been able to play it live because it is still so early in development, but everything you've just seen prior to this, as we're playing the trailer now, was Dave playing back at the Access office.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
we were so happy that we were able to show that. Again, it's pre-alpha. The game is so early in development. It's really ambitious.
Yes.
It's really ambitious, and I want to follow it quite closely.
There are mechs in the game. I mean,
of course there are.
Going on?
Also
What's that giant worm in the background? There are so many questions. Hopefully, if you hadn't heard of Biomutant earlier, this has given you a bit of a flavour for what it's all about. I mean, it's, as we said, it's kind of like Jak and Daxter meets Horizon Zero Dawn meets DMC.
Devil May Cry Combat.
Which is something I'm sure no one has ever thought of doing before, putting those things together. But it looks really, really exciting and amazing. I just want to get out into the open world and find out.
Pretty much.